So reading for multiple choice questions. Most of your questions are going to boil down to context in one way or another. Whether the question is asking about context of a word in a sentence, context of a sentence in a paragraph, or context of a paragraph in a text. The meaning of words can change depending on the context. So there's a dictionary definition and an implied definition, which is when words are altered because of the sentences they're in. For example, there are many different meanings for the word shot. A shot could refer to a photo, a gun, alcohol, a medical injection, or it could be a metaphor, like when Bon Jovi sings "Shot Through the Heart." So here are some examples. The shot developed nicely, even though it was sunny when the photo was taken. All of his shots were within an inch of the bullseye. They drank shots of whiskey long into the night. The baby cried when he had his first round of shots. Shot through the heart, and you're to blame. For this example, C can be eliminated because Europe wasn't abandoning anything. D can be eliminated because this is referring to World War II, and World War II was not sudden and occurred over a period of time. The dictionary definition of cataclysmically is a violent upheaval. However, there is no implication of violence in the sentence, so you can eliminate that option and infer furious instead. So the answer is A. Okay. Purpose of a sentence. Reading inside and outside of a sentence. Here's an example of how reading in and outside of a sentence can be helpful. The sentence given in the question is not the full sentence in the passage. What is missing is a collision between old and new, which is the answer. What reflects a collision between old and new best is option A. This is also an example of a claim than the evidence. The sentence in the question is the claim, and the correct answer is the evidence of that, and thus the purpose of the sentence. Reading in and outside of the sentence can help you locate the claim and the evidence to best answer the question. Often, the question will ask about how a paragraph fits or contributes to the main idea of the passage. You'd want to note the main point and structure of the paragraph, then relate it to the main point of the passage. Here is an excerpt of a paragraph. You can pause the video to read this in full. This is an example of a question that is asking how a paragraph relates to an entire passage. This paragraph discusses a struggle between old and new, how new technology is causing changes. A can be eliminated because the destruction of an era is too narrow. The passage is about the change rising from the destruction as well, not just the destruction. C can be eliminated because we are not talking about the war in connection to the conduct of war. Conduct doesn't appear in the passage at all. D can be eliminated because nowhere in the passage does it talk about political elites, nor show a bias as to suggest ignorance and belligerence. The answer is B, since it actually talks about the passage's main idea of old versus new.